This is KGW News at Sunrise.
This morning on Sunrise, a local advocate for victims of sexual assault and a rape survivor herself is accusing the head football coach at Michigan State of sexual harassment. We'll share more details about their 2-year working relationship and her accusation against the coach coming up in our top story. Plus,
he has been upbeat and full of jokes and joy throughout the whole process.
That woman is talking about one of the teens who was stabbed as they got off a MAX train earlier this month in Southeast Portland. Now she and another friend are giving an update on how that teen is doing. Plus.
After a couple of big wins on the football field this past weekend, Oregon State and Washington State earned another victory in court. Those fans we just heard from cheering a judge's ruling that prevents the Pac-12 Board of Directors from meeting later this week. We'll explain how that decision benefits the Beavs and the Cougs as they fight for control of the Pac-12 Conference.
Hey, happy Tuesday morning. Glad you're here. Rod on the desk. Chris here too. Of course, Drew. Rod, we begin with you.
Everybody happy yesterday? It was pretty comfortable.
And my mood was not affected
by
the weather.
That's disappointing. Weather controls everything. All right, let's get you to what's going on. This will be a very similar day. The reason I bring that up. Yesterday it was 80 down in Eugene. It was 79 in Portland. Most of us stayed in the 70s. We'll see the same thing today. It's kind of a mix of partly to mostly cloudy skies moving across. And there is a shower chance. Right now radar is showing some rain showers along the Washington coast. Kind of a mixed bag of broken clouds up top. We're currently at 61 degrees. To the bus stop we go. Again, I'm saying mostly cloudy on the graphic, but like yesterday, kind of partly sunny, mostly cloudy, back and forth. 50s out the door, 71 degrees at noon. Kids get out of school with light winds, about 77. Here's Chris McGinnis.
Rod, we take you live out to Linton. Photojournalist Eric Patterson staged on Highway 30 here, and literally within the last 10 minutes here, we had a gnarly little 2-car crash here that had one lane blocked each direction. Eric is here just to show us, hey, that road has now reopened, so we can close the book on that. Highway 30 rolling along now just fine through the Linton area. Remember, the speed slows through Linton, right, compared to as you get out towards the deeper into Multnomah County. All right, quick look at the drive out of Clark County, getting busier at the Interstate Bridge, but so far we're looking good there as we are out in Gresham. Guys, no other crashes, no unexpected delays.
Okay, thank you, Chris. A hearing is scheduled next month for Michigan State's head football coach accused of sexually harassing a local rape survivor. A warning, the details may be triggering. Brenda Tracy, who lives outside of Portland, is a well-known local advocate for victims of sexual assault. She also helps college athletes across the country. She says 4 men raped her in 1998. 2 of them Oregon State football players, but those charges were eventually dropped. Most recently, a USA Today report says Tracy filed a complaint against Michigan State University head football coach Mel Tucker last December, claiming he'd conducted non-consensual phone sex with her in April of the same year. Tucker told investigators the act was consensual. MSU has suspended Tucker without pay.
The university's objective has been and remains focused on conducting a fair, thorough, and unbiased investigation and allowing the processes to play out. This includes protecting confidentiality of the claimant and putting in place interim measures.
The hearing scheduled for next month will determine if Tucker violated school policy.
Also this morning, we're hearing from friends of one of the teenagers who was stabbed on a MAX train earlier this month. The 17-year-old is out of the hospital, but still recovering at home.
And the suspect now faces hate crime charges. Blair Best has more from one of the teen's friends.
First, I will say this situation did not dim the bright light that radiates from Damien.
Brianna Rehana and her son Emmanuel are close friends with Damien, one of the 2 teens stabbed earlier this month on a MAX train in Southeast Portland.
I just couldn't believe it. I mean, my heart sank. I just heard that he had gotten stabbed on the MAX.
The attack sent Damien to the hospital for emergency open chest surgery.
He has been upbeat and full of jokes and joy throughout the whole process. And that touches me because when I left his hospital room, I felt uplifted.
In an unprovoked attack, police say Damien was stabbed once in the arm and chest. Doctors say the knife nicked his heart.
The focus is for him to heal from the surgery since he bled into his heart and chest cavity.
Court documents show the attack happened on September 2nd, just before 6 at night. Damien and a group of friends were getting on the MAX train when investigators say Adrian Cummins, a 25-year-old homeless man who struggles with addiction, yelled racial slurs at them before stabbing Damien and another teen with a knife. Cummins now faces attempted murder, assault, and bias crime charges.
To me, that is one of the most vile and disgusting things that can happen, is a racially motivated attack.
The other victim was treated on scene and is expected to be okay. Police originally reported both as having non-life-threatening injuries, but we're told that wasn't the case for Damien.
The friends that were there in the group helped keep Damien alive until EMS could get there.
As for Cummins, prosecutors argue he's a threat to the public, so he's being held behind bars without the option of bail until his next court appearance, which is set for September 28th.
Adrian Cummins didn't win. Hate did not win that day.
Blair Best, KGW News.
This morning, students in the Evergreen School District
I think it was
are preparing to
something good and
have
bad,
their second day of school after missing 7 days of classroom time due to a teacher strike. Educators voted to officially approve a new contract with the district yesterday morning. The agreement includes more special education, support teachers, and cost of living increases. The missed school days will be made up throughout the year.
Portland public school teachers are scheduled to meet with the district this Friday to continue their discussions about a new contract. Negotiations here have not been successful to this point, and things could be lining up for a teacher strike in Portland. The teachers' list of demands include higher pay, higher cost of living increases, and a cap on class sizes. The district says it's offered, quote, fair and sustainable proposals. There have been 2 bargaining sessions in the last few weeks, with the next one scheduled for this Friday. If negotiations fail, the earliest teachers could strike would be the end of October.
It may be early on in the college football season, but both Oregon State and Washington State remain undefeated. Both schools also undefeated in court.
A Washington State judge ruled in favor of both schools that are fighting for control of the Pac-12 conference. So we want to bring in Devin Haskins for more on what this means. Devin, there is a temporary restraining order against the other teams.
Yeah, good morning. Essentially what this means is that the temporary restraining order will keep the Pac-12 commissioner and the 8 schools that are departing from the conference from meeting as a board later this week. The ruling also sets up a hearing that's expected to decide who makes up the voting members of the Pac-12 Board of Directors. As the only schools committed to the Pac-12 beyond this year, both Oregon State and Washington State want full control of any decisions being made. So those 8 schools that are leaving the conference after this year are Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, Utah, Oregon, Washington, California, and Stanford. USC and UCLA were both stripped of their voting rights last year when they announced their departure. The lawyer for WSU and OSU argued that since the 8 schools announced their intentions to leave the conference, they gave up their right to vote and make any decisions that impact the conference. The schools that are departing argue, what constitutes a formal notification? After the temporary restraining order was issued by the judge in Whitman County in Washington State, Oregon State's president issued a statement that said she was pleased with the decision, adding the 2 remaining members must be able to chart their own path forward. The lawyer for both schools argued in court that the Pac-12 would be violating its own bylaws by allowing the departing schools to participate.
It's been very clear for the last 14 months that members who announce they're leaving the conference and joining competitors can no longer participate on the board or make decisions on behalf of the conference.
All right, so the judge did allow the conference to continue to conduct day-to-day business as usual. Another hearing will have to be set to clarify those conference bylaws, so a lot remains to be decided, but a small victory for both OSU and WSU. Guys?
It seems pretty simple to us, right? Rod and I are like listening to Devin the whole time, nodding our heads. It's like, if you choose to leave the conference, you shouldn't have a vote in where the conference goes from here.
So all in favor of the winner of the Washington State-Oregon State football game going to the Rose Bowl every year? Aye.
You know, those 2 actually play here, not this weekend, but next. That's the Week 4 matchup.
Oh, it is?
Oregon State against Washington State, so an early showdown.
The winner should go to the Rose Bowl.
Honestly, even as a non-football watcher, it makes sense to me. Like, why would they have a stake in that? Yeah.
So anyway, so no debates on the desk this morning. We're all in agreement.
Yep.
Rob, what do you have for us weather-wise?
All right, similar pattern to yesterday, kind of day 2 of the same type of weather. And then we'll start to change gears tomorrow. You still have the hot 90s showing up on my 7-day. Here's that cool pool of air. Yesterday, the coast of Oregon, most areas had at least a dab of rain, anywhere from a trace to about 5/100ths of an inch showed up. Right now, radar is showing this band of rain nearing the Long Beach Peninsula and mostly running up along the Washington coast. Futurecast shows that band of showers, and otherwise, like yesterday, kind of partly sunny to mostly cloudy, partly sunny to mostly cloudy. Winds are light, except for a west wind in the gorge that could eventually gust as high as 25 between Hood River and the Dalles. Here's a trace of rain. Just a reminder, this afternoon is at least possible that the clouds will drop a rain drop. That would be just a trace of moisture. And then tomorrow's the transition day. This has us starting off with valley fog. Notice here's I-5, there's the valley. That would be low clouds and fog. It doesn't really show a true marine layer. So we'll see what we end up with tomorrow morning. During the day, we'll clear out of all that, and then we start to warm up. It will still be comfortable Wednesday, but Thursday, we could hit 90 just like that. Okay, so we have no watches, no warnings. Air quality generally good across Oregon and Washington. We have temperatures mostly around 50 degrees. John Day, Bend, Baker City, Salem's at 53, Kelso 51. Along the Columbia, PDX and the Dalles each at 61 and 64. Best chance of a shower that would be measurable will be again along the coast. Winds should be light today. And, you know, at times yesterday, we had sunshine here, too. I know Cannon Beach at one point was just flat out clear. So it's a mixed bag. 67 degrees expected in Pacific City. Salem, 78. Corvallis, 79. Again, very similar numbers to what we had yesterday. Longview, 72. Battleground, 76. Vancouver, 77. And then tomorrow we clear out. We get up to 80. And then we get hot again. 89 Thursday, 94 Friday. 92 Saturday. And then at least we drop into the mid-80s on Sunday and Monday. And that is your forecast.